Hey everyone, it's Mac here with Stika Travel, and I want to welcome you to Parque de Santiago here in Merida, Mexico. The reason I brought you here is because this was the first park that I experienced on my first trip to Merida, and was a big reason why I fell in love with it and just had to move back now. And I want to tell you a little bit about it before I get into the mercado, the church, and all the surrounding areas. So this park, specifically this park, was the park of the local Maya, the indigenous people here, way back in the 1500s. When Spain and Francisco de Montejo, the founder of Merida, when he founded the city and he started to build it up colonial style, he used a lot of indigenous labor. And this is where they lived. Over here is Calle 59. This is the southern border of the park, and it falls between Calle 70 and 72. They're all one way, so if you ever come here, make sure you know what you're doing and which one goes which way. And it's a really convenient area. It's about 5 to 10 minutes from the Gran Plaza, the center of Merida. Really easy walk, really beautiful colonial walk. And this park here is a little more calm. There's not as many people because it is out of the center of the city. And it's a great place to just come and relax. That's why I fell in love with it, like I mentioned. It was so calm and so welcoming, and when we get to it, I'm gonna show you the mercado. There's wonderful outdoor seating, and you see kids playing all the time. I bring my dog here. It's great. And yes, this was a really important place in the foundation of the city back in the 1500s, but this also became a really important place to the city in the late 1800s, because this was the beginning of Camino Real, or the Royal Way, to Sisal, which was the port they used. Because the reason it was so important is because henequen, the local fiber that's grown out of the plant, it's kind of like an agave plant, and it has these really strong fibers, and they use it for rope. In the late 1800s, people were sailing all over the world. Europe was had colonized everything. There was all this competition for land and power. And here, the best rope in the world could be made with the local henequen. So this place got wealthy because it was in such high demand. And right here, this was the beginning of the road that took that henequen to the port to be shipped off to Europe. Here you'll see the Zona de Monumentos Históricos plaque. You'll see this all over Merida, because back in 1982, the national government decreed that this was an important place that needed to be preserved for cultural purposes. So now tourists get to enjoy the renovations, the restorations, and really the upkeep of the area. So you may have noticed behind the plaque was this beautiful church. The one I mentioned was renovated, and all the upkeep that the city gives it. Well, this one is dedicated to the Apostle James, translated to Santiago. It's kind of a weird story, but basically from Latin, there's no J, and it's Jacob, and it somehow became James. But this is Santiago, the Apostle. That is who it's dedicated to. And it was completed in 1637. It is one of the oldest churches here in Merida. respect tour the church. I'm not going to be talking when I enter in a moment, but I'm going to give you a little taste of what it is, what it's like inside. Here, you can see here, Templo de Santiago in the Barrio de Santiago. Maybe you could tell by watching that quick little video of the inside of the church just how peaceful and quiet it is, which is such a contrast to the rest of Merida, really. It's a busy city, a lot of cars, a lot of little mopeds buzzing around, a lively city. And the churches, especially Santiago, really offers that reprieve and coolness in the hot heat. So at the moment, I'm standing kind of at the halfway point of the park, because here is where we start to enter the playground area for those kids and sometimes dogs, and also the market. Amazing outdoor seating, really helpful staff, numerous options. And these are open late, which is really cool because a lot of other outdoor eateries close earlier, and here you can come here for a late night snack. Smoothies are also a must. They are delicious. And over here is Mercado Santiago sign, the theater, and the raised platform for performances. So you do have the option of eating outside in the patio park area, but my favorite place to eat here is Lupita. The Cochinita Pibil is incredible. It's juicy, it's so flavorful, and it doesn't like douse the bread and get it all soggy. They do an incredible job. Let's go check it out. Welcome inside. I just got a Hugo Verde with my wife Hannah, the wonderful camera woman. And let's give you a little glimpse of what it's like to eat inside at the market at the moment. You can notice the tables are spread out pretty well. For COVID reasons, we were given hand sanitizer and our temperatures were checked at the entrance. You know, little things to make people feel and be healthy.
La torta de pavo incluye jamón y queso. Y también tengo la especial que es la Sandwich Club. Este le trae jamón, queso, huevo.
So we just got our tortas with cochinita. We're gonna add a little salsa to it and get to town. Pierna claveteada, my first time getting it. Our wonderful waiter explained what it is to me. It's basically like a pork roast kind of thing. It looks a little different than the picture that I saw, but I'm excited to try it anyway. And we got Sopa de Lima. That's for Hannah. She always gets that. She loves it. It's just the local soup. There's turkey, I believe, and lime, a really lime-based Lima lime. And then you throw in some fried chips, give it that crunch. How would you describe Sopa de Lima?
Just really like refreshing. It's lighter than a lot that's on the menu. Good.
It's still warm, right?
Yeah, but it's just good to get the hydration, and sometimes it has beans or tomatoes or corn.
Very cool. Okay, I was wrong. It's not pot roast. It's pork tenderloin. And they serve it cool, or room temperature. pretty good. It's a little sweeter than the Cochinita, and it still kind of rips apart in your mouth or your fingers. Yeah, it's still pretty good. I like it. So we just finished lunch right here, and now we're gonna head into the mercado. Fruit, flowers, some meat in the back. Let's go check it out. Okay, so we just passed the fruit and flower section, and they keep the meat separate, all the poultry, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna head over here and check out inside. What's going on there. And we missed the festivities this morning, but you can still see some meat hanging. So the surroundings of Parque Santiago, Mercado Santiago, and Templo Santiago is Barrio de Santiago, or the Santiago neighborhood. And recently there's been a lot of expats and people kind of moving in, renovating these old, beautiful colonial houses. The vibe is starting to get a little more fun, a little more nightlife, a little more people out, a little more comfortable here in the neighborhood. And there's also a bunch of schools located just across Calle 59. You'll see kids in uniforms all the time if you come here in the afternoon. And just a really cool neighborhood to have a nice afternoon in, or live. Another really cool thing about Santiago is the stores and the restaurants aligning. So you notice the pulqueria over on that end. We have 2-for-1 happy hour. We have little bars and cantinas and homemade ice cream. And down there, the red is a theater where, you know, when people leave a theater, they go out and they gather and they use Parque Santiago as that place. Great place to visit. Highly recommend. It was my first love here in Merida, and I keep coming back.